All right, let's try some multiplication. Multiplication and division are simpler than addition and subtraction because you don't need like terms to multiply or divide. And this is very convenient because of the commutative property and the associative property. We have multiplication inside the scientific notation. We also have multiplication between the scientific notation. This allows us to multiply in any order. The associative property says I don't really need the parentheses because I can multiply from left to right. I can multiply in groups and then multiply those products. Or I can rearrange it so that more convenient factors are together. So that's what we can do here. So because this is multiplication, 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 I can go ahead and rearrange it however I'd like. I can multiply my 4 and 23 hundredths times my 2 and 6 tenths, and then separately multiply my powers, my 10 to the 48th and my 10 to the 18th. Because we don't need like terms, I'm not going to create like terms. I'm going to go ahead and just multiply. So if I multiply my powers, we know this from properties of exponents, that when we multiply powers with the same base, we're going to keep the base, so we're going to keep that 10, and we will add the exponents. So we have 48 plus 18, and we can add that up very quickly. We get a 16, which will carry the 1, 4, 5, 6. So we have 10 to the 66th power. And then I can go ahead and multiply my multiplier. So again, I'm going to do that off to the side here because I want to be able to multiply accurately. So I have 4 and 23 hundredths times 2 and 6 tenths. Notice that with my multiplication, I did not line up my decimals. In multiplication, you will ignore the decimal until the end. So we're going to multiply this like it's a 3-digit times a 2-digit. So 6 times 3 is 18, carry the 1. 6 times 2, that's 12, plus 1 is 13, carry the 1 again. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25. So we'll do the 0 placeholder. 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 4 is 8. And then we'll add these up. So 8 plus 0 is 8, 6 and 3 is 9, 4 and 5 is 9, 8 and 2 is 10 without anything to carry it to. I'll go ahead and write that whole thing. But remember, I'm not done. I ignored these decimals. Now's the time to use them. I have 2 decimal places there, 1 there for a total of 3. So 1, 2, 3 decimal places. So I have 3 spots after my decimal. I'm going to write my multiplier as 10 and 998 thousandths times 10 to the 66th. Now remember, when we did the addition and subtraction, I kept asking, did you check this? This has to be at least 1. It is, but less than 10. This is not less than 10. This is 10. So I need to adjust this. I really should write this as 1 and 998 ten thousandths. All of those digits, but my decimal needs to be 1 spot over. So there are a couple of ways to remember how to do this. We went left, so go larger. Or if you think about this separately, completely separately, let's go over here because it's so separate. How do I write this number in scientific notation? Well, I'm definitely going to need 1.0998. And I moved my decimal 1 spot, so it's going to be times 10 to the 1st. And I know it's a positive 1 because this was greater than 1 to begin with. So since it's a positive 1, I'm going to add 1 to my 66, and that gives me times 10 to the 67th. And there's my final answer. It's going to work the same way with negative exponents. With negative exponents, I still do the same thing. It's all multiplication in the scientific notation and between it. So since it's all multiplication, I can go ahead and do this problem just the way that it is written. I can just rearrange. Use the associative property to get those parentheses out of there. Use the commutative property to get my multipliers together. So I have 3 and 26 hundredths times 4 and 92 hundredths. And then I have my factors of my powers of 10. So 10 to the negative 18th and 10 to the negative 40th. I do not need common factors in order to multiply. I don't need like terms. I can go ahead and use my properties of exponents because I have the same base. I will keep the base, I will keep that 10, and I will combine my exponents. When I multiply powers of the same base, I add the exponent. So I have a negative 18 and a negative 40, so I'm adding those. So 8 and 0 makes 8, 4 and 1 makes 5, and I can do that because they were both negative. When you add negatives, you get a bigger negative. So I have 10 to the negative 58th power. And then I can go ahead and multiply my multipliers. Now I can do this out longhand, as some of you will, or as I said before, you are welcome to, of course, grab your calculators. So you have 3 and 26 hundredths times 4 and 92 hundredths, and there's your decimal, 16 and 392 10,000ths. So I'm going to write that down because I don't want to lose any of my digits. But I have to look at this. This looks like my final answer, but is it really? Is this in scientific notation? This first number, the multiplier, before the decimal, the number has to be at least 1. It is. But it has to be less than 10, and it is not. So I need to move my decimal one more spot. I'm only allowed to have one digit in front. 1.60392 times 10, because that's going to stay. But since I moved my decimal, I'm going to have to adjust my exponent. Again, since we went left, it's going to be larger. But with negatives, sometimes that gets confusing. So let's take a look at it. This number, we had to move it one spot, so it's going to change by one value. And this original number, if I ignored my times 10 to the 58th, times 10 to the negative 58th, this has a positive exponent, that's 16 and 392 10,000ths. Since it has a positive exponent, I will put a positive 1 with my negative 58, and I will have a negative 57. Because again, left, go larger. And negative 57 is larger than negative 58. So there is my final answer. But in multiplication, we might also have positive exponents and negative exponents. So I want to take one more example here, just quickly. And the process will be the same. We're still going to take our multipliers and pull them together, which the commutative property allows us to do. So we have 2 and 7/10 times 3 and 72 hundredths. And I can pull my powers of 10 together. 10 to the 40th and 10 to the negative 8th. So even though one's positive and one's negative, I still have a common base. And since I'm multiplying, I will still add my exponents. So I have 40 plus a negative 8. And if you remember what you learned about adding and subtracting integers, you know that if the signs are different, you're going to find the difference. So we really have 40 minus 8, even though we're adding, because the 8 is negative and the 40 was positive. So my new exponent is a 32. So I'm going to have 10 to the 32nd power. And then I can go ahead over back to my calculator and redo some math. And I have 2 and 7/10 times 3 and 72 hundredths. So let's do that. 2 and 7/10 times 3 and 72 hundredths. And that's going to give me 10 and 44 thousandths. So again, this number was greater than 1, so I don't want that. I want it to be at least 1, or greater than 10, I'm sorry, greater than 10, I don't want that. I want it to be at least 1, but less than 10. So I'm going to move that decimal right there. Keep all of the other digits, and because I went left, I'm going to go larger. So this is 10 to the 33rd. This would have a positive 1 because I moved it one spot, so I'll add 1 to that. And that's my final answer.